Well, I've gone live, right? Looks like I can see. Oh, it's not on here yet. Here it comes, and boom, and boom. Yes. Okay. So I was watching. I've been watching a few Rick Beato videos, and every single one of them starts out. I do not feel bad about how I start these guys. Every single one of them starts with him going like so. I don't feel bad about how I kind of figure out everything how to start. Hey guys, uh, I'm Mark Black, and this is Mark Teaches Music, and this is our what? Let's see. This is our session 35 of our improv workshop, and this is the 30th day of May. May's almost gone. I don't think it existed. And 30th day of May, and it's 2023, and I want you to have fun and be awesome. You know, as everybody does, try to figure out a great uh, synopsis of what they do. And so about 15 years ago, it's kind of like, well, what is it that I really want people to do? I want them to have a lot of fun. I also want them to be awesome, not just in their head, but actually be awesome. Just turn that up. Didn't seem to get very loud. There. That's more volume in my ear. I think I turn it down as soon as we do anything with music. Okay, so we're going to ad lib, and when listen, guys. You guys need to invite people because most people really want to learn to ad lib, and I want to make up a song. I mean, it's akin to playing by ear. It's not quite the same thing, but they basically want to learn how to not be. Most people want to be free from the music. Would be another way to say it. And so, and then most people that don't, most as in maybe 80% people who don't, it's because they don't think they can. So you can, and so anyway, for more information about lessons go to www.dallasmusiclessons.com, and there's information for me about lessons, and then if you got any questions, put them in the chat with me, and questions about anything, and put them in the chat. But we will have a Q&A session here in about 45 minutes about asking all your musical questions, but you can still send me an email. And I also don't feel about saying to the thing about, hey man, take lessons, because Rick did no fewer in the 40-minute video, no fewer than 4 plugs for his tour thing and his books. So I'm feeling okay about saying that stuff. Look at my ring light, see it in my glasses. Yeah. So I'm just trying that, see if I can get rid of the horrible, go just to moderate glare in my glasses from horrible. And I see my little logo down there. I got to move that too. Let's do that. I know you guys are really excited about that. Let's do that. Kaboom! There you go. Better. All right. So we're not just ad-libbing. We're trying to learn how to get better. So I'm gonna stop and say things. If you have ideas or suggestions, keep them to yourself. No, if you have ideas and suggestions, just put them in the chat. You know, it's so important to me actually to get feedback. But I can't. I'm trying to figure out the balance between, well, if I don't play enough, then I don't think it's as fun. But if I just go like, thinking these things that might help you. So I'm trying to balance that. So if you got any ideas about that, let me know. If you got a request for a style or an instrument that I can play or even try to play, or a style, shoot me an email, and I will be glad to try that, because I love all the different kinds of music. Not absolutely all, but almost all. Many kinds. And although just from a popularity standpoint, it kind of focuses around R&B and jazz and rock and country and some stuff like that. But if you said, hey man, we haven't done an R&B song in 7 minutes, let's do another one, then just let me know. So, and if you like this, you know what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to like, and you're supposed to hit the notification button. You're supposed to subscribe, and you're supposed to give me presents. My birthday's coming up. You could just give me like your car or something like that. and invite other people is so important. So share these links. So here's the guidelines. What we're doing. The only guidelines is just, it's just from your standpoint. It's just me, and then you're over there. You can't, here I do whatever I do. And so, but what we're trying to do is, there's links in the description right now on this live stream that takes you to the scales and the charts for these songs. You don't need the charts if you're ad-libbing. I mean, you're typically playing a mono, one instrument that makes one sound at a time. It helps, but I don't know that it helps immediately. I think the scale is more important. Many songs are only in one key. Majority of songs, simple majority, 50%. And then to ad-lib, amazing lib, you do need to know the chords, at least by ear. I hear this sound change, and so you adjust what you're playing accordingly. But we're mostly we're like in, which is what I think it says is beginners and intermediates. We're looking at kind of the fundamentals, and I think the very fundamental is listening and hearing what sounds the best. And from time to time, you'll say, "Hey, this is boring," including what I'm doing. So anyway, so don't just sit there either. The second thing is, don't just sit there. I mean, if you're, quite seriously, nobody can hear you. Don't be scared. So just jumping in there, and it's better to learn by doing. And so that's what I'm going to do. And listen, today I'm singing on the first song. And let me tell you, it takes, I do not want to do that. Just by the way, if you're a vocalist or you want to be a vocalist, I've said to about 1,000, literally, about 1,000 voice students, private voice students, hey, the voice is the most psychologically intense instrument. When you feel like if you're not a good vocalist, that when you sing it sounds bad, you feel bad about yourself instead of just, yeah, I didn't do very good. So anyway, but if you're a vocalist, I'm going to sing today. And then if you're getting stuck and you're not a vocalist, you're a trumpet player. What are you, a trumpet player? So I'm gonna type in my little chat thing here and see if somebody, I don't know if I'm getting chats or not. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Is the chat work? Is the cat working? That's a good question. There, well, put mine up there. Okay. Well, anyway, so put your questions and comments about things in there immediately. And the only point is, like, if you're lost, you can't understand what to do, or like I said, to do this and it's not working for you, like what's going on, then let's get it fixed so you'll be able to improvise right away. Oh, there you go. Thank you. Look at that. Okay, good. Okay. Hey, listen, you guys, when I start singing, I'm worried about my mix and trying to listen to some of these things back. I really want them to sound good, including the balance. So y'all can tell me stuff about the balance of sounds. So anyway, don't be put up by styles you don't like. My gosh, some of these songs I do, I gotta get into them and I go like, I don't like them very much. Some of them, it's like, why did I think we should do that? And so telling you, if you don't like it, imagine you're on a gig. Imagine you're playing for your best friend or something, like with him. And then it's like, he's like, I want you to do this. And you're like, I don't really want to do this. But you're going to do the best you can. So I'm saying, if you don't happen to like it, make it the best it can be. Make it awesome, because you're so awesome and you're so trying so hard. And so don't be put off. But you learn a lot of stuff. Tommy Tedesco, I know you guys are all thinking about him. Legendary session player in the 60s and 70s. He would take gigs and things he couldn't play. Didn't know styles he didn't know, so that he would learn about that style. So anyway, and the same thing about an instrument you don't like, including me. Like, oh, why is he singing this? I don't sing. I don't see why we're doing that. The voice does things other instruments can't do. Every instrument has things it does better and worse than another instrument. So you learn ways to play by learning other instruments. Same thing for different styles. So don't play when I'm playing or singing. Only because you want to pause and think, what do I want to do? And maybe something I do would be inspiring or interesting, or like I said, you can say, whatever you do, I don't do that. That's fine. But anyway, so don't play when I play, but when it's your turn, jump in there and be aggressive. And then if you get stuck, try singing a little bit, not for 30 minutes unless you're a vocalist. Sing for 6 notes. Dee da 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 da, and then figure out what that is. That was the tuba, except the tuba says. So anyway, so we're going to listen to the changes. Your ear is the best, not the only, but the if we had to pick one thing, what will give me the best advantage? You hearing the changes. If it's this, we're going to do two songs. We're trying to do two songs every time, and the first song we're going to do is just in one key. Yes, it is. It's in G minor, and the second song goes through several keys, but doesn't change keys. It just has little micro changes. Anyway, so there we go. So the first song we're doing is named. It has an invisible name that I can't find at the moment. There it is. Here, its name is Mama Caught a Chicken, thought it was a duck, put it in the oven with its legs sticking up. Probably not. Okay, so the first song is called Dirty Blues Rock. If you got the chart. Let's see if I can see. I'm going to be singing on this song, so I did set it up here so I could do a picture with the chart right there. There's the chart right there. Look at that chart. And so there's the chart. Let's get that. So I'm going to sing. And yes, that's right. So it's in G minor. I want to see the chart too. As the vocalist, I don't need it as much because again, good reason to sing whether you're a vocalist or not. When you're trying to learn to ad-lib is that your voice is the closest instrument you have to what's inside your heart. Truly is. It's inside your heart, inside your head. So it's a good thing to do. So let's listen to it real quick, one time through. And let's see. It sounds like this. Yeah. Except it doesn't sound like anything when it's muted. For some reason, when that sucker is muted, you can't hear nothing. All right. Flat, C, G. There's that C chord. Okay, check. Okay, now I'm gonna check. All right, I'm gonna start over. Now again, y'all holler. I didn't mean to do that. Y'all holler. Y'all holler. You holler if that. Do different. Here's a question. Hey, this is not the question part. Let's see. Different mainstream vocal styles. R&B versus country. This is a question right here by True Catalyst. Thank you, True Catalyst, for your question. Let me just answer this question. Yes, but not the big break. The big humongous break is classical music, which is in the head voice. Which actually, for a guy, he is singing and he's singing like this, literally. And I, as a non-classical, if I was being non-classical, he is singing like this in my head voice. Then each style of vocal singing, not in a really segmented way, but in a general way. So for this sound, we have this kind of bluesy sound. So I'm gonna sing like this a little bit, a little rough. I need to sound rough. If I was gonna sing a country song, I was saying, "Don't rock the jukebox. I want to hear George Jones." So I'd have a lighter sound, a thinner sound, and then other adjustments to that. And we always have outliers like the National as a singer. What's it? Alt J. I think he goes to the dentist before he records. So True Catalyst, ask me that question again, and when we get to the question part, if I haven't answered it. I know that's kind of a shotgun quick, but I do want to answer those questions. Okay, so we're going to ad lib here, and I'm going to start, and I'm going to pull my little timer here, so I can what? Mostly just so I don't go spin. Oh, now I want to say that as a vocalist, here I'm singing, and if you're just listening to me, you and your instrumentalist, you just treat me like an instrument. Now, if I was really doing this, I would have to put words in, right? I can't just go da 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 da. That sounds fine for 4 measures. It doesn't sound fine for 15, 20 measures. It's like, what is this guy babbling about? I'm going do 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 do. But that would be the exception. The difference between just ad-libbing with my voice as an instrument. That is, I'm just ignoring the fact that, hey, I'm not putting any words in these, and that would make it more difficult. I don't want to think about that. If you're doing that, don't worry about the lyrics. And then if you're an instrumentalist and you're not planning on singing, which is fine, don't get irritated at me, doing do-do-do-do-do-do's, because I'm trying to think of it as an instrument, my voice as an instrument, and I could put words to it if I had time. I want to mess with it. Yeah, oh, oh, your turn. More rock, less blues. Still your turn. Section, but I'm gonna take it back. Here I go. Oh, yeah, yeah, oh, B section. Yeah, she's not going back to one. Yeah. Say, okay, so there's the B section. We'll put you back in on that B section, which is starting on a B chord for C instruments and starting on a C chord for a B flat instrument. Now, one thing is, notice the song itself. It got rocker. You would have to match that. You need to match that. It gets aggressive, you get aggressive. It gets softer and prettier, you get softer and prettier. Also, I sent out this chart. Now listen, everybody, every person, no matter with your voice or with an instrument, I sent out this chart and I said, hey, this is in G natural minor. Ba 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 ba. Those notes are G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G. That's G natural minor, the same notes of the B flat scale. For a B flat instrument, it's a C scale. For a saxophone, it is the G scale. So now, when I'm singing it, I was noticing, that actually, I don't know if it did, but I'm singing ba 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 ba, which is the Dorian minor. And guys, if you take lessons with me, if you happen to know the second major pattern, it's just the second major pattern on the G, on the third fret. Sorry. If you don't, that's fine. It's the notes of the what key are we in? G. We're in the key, same notes as the F scale. For a trumpet, it's the notes of the G scale. For a saxophone, it's the notes of the D-dog scale. And all it is technically is just that instead of back to C instruments, instead of E flat, it's an E natural, raising the sixth scale degree. Da 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 da. No, I'm sorry. Da 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 da. Sounded good when I did it. Okay, it's your turn. You're coming in on the B flat chord, second section. You won't be able to tell really that it's second section. It's not a big difference, Andy. It's ready and. You do it. Come back to the A section. You still got it? Rocky, bigger. Make a comment that now different instruments work better and different styles, and have to work harder. So, for example, orchestral instrument, and I'm not talking about vibe saying or concert band instruments. So the flute, the trumpet, the trombone would have to think about stuff like, for example, you might play short notes. You know, you're doing things maybe shorter because I noticed that also with my singing when I was going, that would sound great on an orchestral instrument, those long tones. And then what you have to decide, and what you have to decide is the mood of the song. What is the song saying? What is the song? So it's kind of a dark, but it's aggressive. So that's what you have to play like. You can't just go along. I'm going to play the notes in the B flat major scale. And that all that does is get you in the room, you know. So like, okay, I'm not going to mess up. I'm not going to play a bad note, but it doesn't mean you're going to play good notes. That's right. That's what you got to be talking about. You got to play good notes, the better notes, the pretty notes. You got to make what you're playing and singing stylistic and fit, and where people aren't going to go like, so you're not fighting. Here's the song being all aggressive and epic and dark. You know, so you're trying to match that, and you're saying, hey, you know, I can do that on my instrument. And then you got to figure out different things to do with each instrument. Let's do this one more, continuing, going back to you, and your hair is coming in. You're ready, and you keep going. Here goes. The B section. Okay, there you go. All right, now you guys, now that's so cool. Music is so cool. And again, this question here, what's your comeback? Let's see if do I still have sound? Hello, still talking. I'm talking here. This is an encouraging question to me from True Catalyst. The idea, which is different people have different philosophies, right? And but I'm fascinated by the differences in music, by many other things. You know, what makes a country song, etc. So that's a good question from my standpoint. Kudos. Yes, excellent. True Catalyst. Okay, so we're going to go to our second song here, and our second song is a country song. Yeah, look, you know, I'm picking these making these through Band in the Box. Most of them. That one's from got Elevated Jam Tracks. Is really cool, and they're really cheap. They're like, if you buy a bunch of them, they're like 15 cents a piece or something. So, but most of them I make on Band in the Box. And so anyway, they give a groove, right? Here's the groove. And it said pop. It said pop. So it was like not very pop, actually. So it is a very, not very pop, but was very country. So anyway, that's what I got is country. And just because that's what it was. And now I do not see my little thing here. There it is. Swingerpickin. Well, let's look at that real quick. Oh, I don't know what is that. Sorry, couldn't call it technical difficulties. Just difficulties, just regular. They're not even technical. They're just the difficulties. I don't understand that. Okay, well here, let's just take a look at this real quick. And so you should have this chart. Now I shouldn't have to do this. I'm not being rude. I'm just saying I shouldn't have to do this. I'm fixing to play the guitar, and I won't. Well, I'm going to get rid of this. But listen to this. We want to listen to the songs. Look, I'm a professional musician, and I was in the jazz band at Loyola for 3 years, and I love jazz, and so the upper echelons of playing great solos is, this this chord is this kind of chord, and so I'm going to hit these notes and stuff like that. But again, if I had just one thing, one way to help you is like, okay, one thing, you just listen, and your ear's hearing every change we're fixing to listen to. Your ear goes, I was expecting that, or actually what it really is your ear says, I hear this, and then you look on the chart and you go, oh, that unusual thing I heard, that's this. So let's listen to this. Remember, this is supposed to be pop. It's not pop. There's the E7. It's not in the key. That's our home base here. Home. Not home. Here comes home. 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 Whatever that note is. There's that C6-9. Listen to that. There's that walk. Isn't that cool? That D minor. Pointed back to C. Come on, C. Come on, home. Back home on the C. Your ear says, that's home. Right there, not. Dang. All right. Now, I'm definitely messing with things. Now, a second song doesn't have to be harder, but it's okay with me if it is harder. So it is harder, this song. Now, and it's, well, all right. So this first chord, this song's in the key of C. And the normative chords in C, the normal chords, the anchor chords in the key of C are C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and B diminished. Which we won't hear as much in modern music. Let's make sure I'm not missing any comments. Okay, and I'm not. So that E7 is not an E minor. So the ear immediately hears it. Hey, that's out of the key. It's out of the key because it takes a G sharp to make it. And so, but then it runs back home. So let's listen to it real quick. I just want to say, and I'm talking about it this time instead of just listening. Counting off. I mean, it's home bass, E, out of the key. Now, the A scale is the dominant 7, which was that kind of chord is, a letter name with the number 7. It's just go up 4. E, F. Let's get to E, F, G, A. Play the A scale, which is also, this is E7, is E mixolydian, which means you lower the 7th note, which means, hey, that's just the notes of the A scale. So right there, I just want to hear, so that's out of the key right there. Back home, F. Now, there's home bass C. These are all chords in the key C. Notice I just relaxed now. It's just running around. Third line, here comes that third line. Now check this out. Your motion. Hey, what was that? What was that? G minor's not in the key of C. C7, you don't know this. And again, remember I have this balance. How much do I say? How much do we play? But right there we're in the key of F. Those two chords are in the key of F, and it's pointing to the key of F, and I want you to notice it went B-do-do-dee-do-do. Third line again. And it's pointing something right here, pointing. And got there. It was an F. Sadness. Oh, F minor. A7, pointing to D, the D scale right there. C7 pointing, here it is, F. Sitting there a while, all prettiness, home bass, C. And when you hear that home bass, you know you're in C in this song. Walking down. There's that E7. You're gonna play an A scale right there, or arpeggiate the chord. Well, I want to know. Whoop. Well, I didn't know I could. I think I muted myself on the YouTube program, and I could do that. But anyway, so any old-timey country guys here? I don't think so. I don't believe there are, because we're a rare and dying breed. But if you are an old-timey country person, I just think it's fascinating that this here song is it's built on the Abilene. That's what it is, baby. Let's listen to it right there. I'm gonna sing Abilene right here, and I know you guys love Abilene. Abilene, Abilene, prettiest town I ever seen. We'll have to get to the end to get to the rest of it, but let's see. Now, if I got enough volume. Okay. Let's see, got a little of this. Okay, now let me know if I'm too loud or too soft or too anything. Looks kind of soft. Here comes this. Let me see what this track is. steps on over into F just for one measure. There's the measure. Now it's right back. Back to C. Here's the A scale. This time we'll take just half turns. Okay. Your turn. Take it right there. Part here. Go again. All right, I'll take this. Monopolize this part, but the F part. Here it comes. It's just F right there. Now listen. Now remember, I'm saying, hello. Okay, I'm saying it now. Okay, so remember, I keep saying, and y'all need to give me feedback. I'm trying to figure out how much do I talk and how much do I play in terms of explaining things. And this particular song, there's quite a few little step outs, stepping out of the key, and they don't step out for more than as short as 2 beats and as long as 4 beats, but still it makes a difference. Like the very first, like right there, that very first thing, you need to go, something to get out of the, you have to recognize that your playing has to recognize the key has changed. So how do we negotiate that without me taking you taking lessons or me taking 20 minutes to explain it? Well, I'm looking at the things that are here. So first off, you can arpeggiate those chords that are not in the key. First, there's an E7, so I go, I play pretty one, but let's go. Sorry, let's do that. So I can I can play the notes of the chords. I can play the notes of the scale that implies. Do you know that? Probably not. But here's what I'm getting at. Over all of it, I can just play slow and figure out what is changed in that. And so I was working out what's her name? Tori Amos, is that her name? Did the everybody needs to stay in Sing. Anyway, I was working out one of her licks, and my gosh, when I first did it, I was just like, what on earth is this chick doing? And basically slowed her way down. It kind of comes together slowly. It's like, okay, I get it, and I can do that, And so I'm saying the same thing with these notes. So we can do stuff like, let me make this play. So let's see, I don't know where we're going to hit this, but... So I'm just trying to play slow right now. Here comes that part. We're on the... Let me interrupt that and say, so that particular part, that this is on the next to the bottom line. Let's see if y'all can see that. Nope. Let's move that. I need to move this so y'all can see that. That next to bottom line, there we go. I can see it now. So that next to bottom line, it has the C. It's got the DJ. So I'm not talking about playing the chords, I'm about playing the scale. So like the E7's in another key, the D7's in another key. So I can go I arpeggiate that. I can just do what I did. I can go. I can plink around, figure out what's going on, slowly until I grok more of what's going on. I'm saying this badly. What I'm trying to say is, you don't have to figure it out all at once. You don't have to. If you play, when I say play slowly, let me play fastly. And without changing a lot of notes. Sorry. to say is, I hope I'm getting across better. I'm just trying to say, yes, it'd be great to know all of the details. You understand what to do completely. I'm not quite sure how to make that happen in the course of this. Everybody's, we're all playing and trying to enjoy ourselves. There's not really time to go into detail, great depth and detail. So I'm just kind of hollering out. But I'm saying, here you are at the house, you're playing something, a completely different song, you're trying to figure out how to do the completely different song. What do you need to do? Well, what you need to do, buddy, is you need to take a lesson. And but you also need to, if you'll slow down, your ear says there's something unusual happened there. You isolate that place right there. Like, let's listen to that opening of the song. So your ear goes, let's see, you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. You hardly even know your scales. And your ear goes, and if you're playing a G, the note G on your instrument, right there, that G would sound bad because they went ba ba, went to that note. So your ear's going to go. So ear, something happened. Ear secondly says, hey, you played a G. That's not right. But it doesn't know to tell you what to do. So you sit there at that strange, unusual place, and you find some notes that work. 5 notes, 2 notes, And then you go on, and you notice most of this song and most of these songs are relaxed and comfortable. So anyway, so you're like, cool, I'll do that. And here's another place. Oh, that place is unusual. Yes, you need to know the full answer. Yes, of course, you're right. I agree with you. That's why I'm here. But until that happens, you can use your ear to piece together what to do. It's just like you can play every song in the whole world on the guitar, on the bass, as an example. Every scale that there is, there's only 5 versions of those scales. That is, if I play, I'll make the jazz guys happy and say, oh, I'm going to play the, B flat Mixolydian scale. There's only 5 places, 5 iterations of it if I do the regular box patterns. So anyway, so I'm saying, but I can play every solo there ever was, which is one of those patterns. Do I need to learn all 5? Yes. Do I have to learn all 5? No. So as you're learning, getting better, start with your ear. Okay, now our improv workshop is concluded, and if you have questions now, stick these in. Now we're at the Q&A portion of our thing tonight. This is to play and sing, asking all your questions, making you and me brilliant people. First off, True Catalyst, if you're there, could you tell me, I know I just did a very brief answer to that question, and I can give you a little more in depth, but no way to do it in anything. But if you can give me some, if you're still there and you still want to know that answer to that question, just say something like, please elaborate. I'll give you a moment to do that while I click another button over here and find another thing. There it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to assume, and again, True Catalyst, if you're there, just anytime you hear this anytime soon and you want me to elaborate more, just tell me to elaborate more, because in fact, it's an interesting question. So basically, there's a big gap between classical music and pop music. A lot of jazz singers will do both things historically through the century of jazz, a century that there has been jazz. There are so some of the jazz people, half will say, will take a classical approach and sing very classically. Okay, yes, I see. There you go. Thank you, True Catalyst. Okay, here I am talking about it. I've done actually entire seminars on the difference in vocal technique for the different styles. Again, it's not a quick topic, but so I'm saying the big thing is classical versus everybody else. And the classical musician, which I have a degree in oboe, so I'm a freaking classical musician. But classical voice is very different, and everybody, all the other styles assume that you are singing as a woman. I'm not speaking to women specifically, but it's the best example. As a woman, you're singing in your chest voice. You are singing an aggressive, Tori Amos, Kelly Clarkson, Katy Perry, you know, Pink, smacking you in the face with my, you know, Janis Joplin. Not destroying your voice, but you know, I'm singing really strong and aggressively. That's your chest voice. You're not going to hear that in classical music. In addition, again, I'm saying some jazz singers taking a classical approach and sing very properly. I personally don't like the way that sounds because I feel like it's lost the power. It's not powerful. But some people do that. And if you go to university, half of the teachers will be like, I'm a classical singer and I'm singing jazz also. And to me, it sounds like that, like I'm playing jazz oboe. And there are jazz oboists, and it doesn't work, bro. So anyway, all right. So now other styles. So you know, a real light thing. So you know, specifically country music, we would typically have a lighter. And I'm saying, you know, I would sing, you know, I'm sorry, I'm older, right? So I would sing, you know, stand by your man, and da da do do how about do. So I would sing like that. I would sing with a tighter sound. My pharynx is contracted, so that I've lost a lot of the lower overtones. I got a lot of higher overtones, and so my tone will be lighter. I don't mean lighter like attitudinally lighter. I mean it actually had a graphic equalizer of high pitches and low pitches. A lot of the low pitches would be gone, and I have a lot of the high sounds like this. Stand by your man, and you know, I'm exaggerating to make the point. I would sing with an accent. Maybe. Now I was truly born in Alabama and raised in Mississippi, so it's not hard for me to do an accent. And I don't think you have to do that, but if you'll listen to most, I'd say 70% of modern country singers, they would sing with something like this. They'd be singing like, you know, hey, you know, let's see, you know, oh my gosh, let's see. I might have a little dirt on my, dirt on my boots, so daddy down. What's that thing? You did on a day night. So I'm thinking, what is that song? And the squeaking in the back with. Anyway, it's really a super cool song. I can't think of the name of it. I'm trying to turn it into Wagon Wheel, but it's not. Anyway, the point is, singing with an accent. These are the things you would do. You don't have to do that. You don't have to sing with an accent. It just sounds a little odd. So if I go, let's see. Way down yonder in the Chattahoochee, doesn't really do it. So, and then you said R&B. So R&B is usually the complete opposite of that. And the point is, we had a graphic equalizer, high overtones, low overtones, and we would get rid of some of the highs, and we'd have a deeper, richer, fuller sound. So a man would sing like this and go, hey, 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 yeah. Have a dark sound. Now, again, you said R&B, and I'm not trying to be and not either trying to be old or anti. Hey, Caven 77. Hey, man. I'm not trying to be either old or, but I haven't listened to a lot of hip hop, so like I'm trying to think of the newest thing I would think of. Could be, I need a dollar, that's what I need. Said I need a dollar, that's what I need. And I think that's maybe 10 years old or something like that. So I'm saying, and to me, that's, R&B, soul, and I'm not going to want to either try to figure out or get into the names, get the names right. Periods, I'm saying like, what is Maroon 5? Is it pop? Is it some subset of pop? I don't know. It's just so anyway. So typically with R&B, obviously we need a lot of licks. We need a darker sound. Typically we don't have a accent. We do have a relaxed. The mouth compared to a lot of styles, the mouth is very relaxed, so we get a lot of the darkness and covered from just the fact that that the mouth is relaxed. And so people singing, I'm just talking about they're singing like this, as opposed to a tight sound. You hear the tone change. The tone change. You can hear that, right? So all I'm saying is think like that. Now, beyond that, I'm trying to think of what other styles are there. You know, pop people tend to sing, like again, Tori Amos, crazy girl, amazing voice, but that is really not the norm. And even people like Kelly Clarkson, again, great voice. You don't, I'm just going to go over to Taylor Swift, just kind of get from the, not extremes, but the skill extremes, kind of in maybe a more norm sound. I was listening to a song, what was that? Fingers Crossed. That girl was singing really cool. She had a lot of great touch, meaning a lot of the notes had little things on them, and it was really cool. It wasn't just sort of a broadcast, I am singing, now I'm singing, don't you like my singing? It wasn't like that. Anyway, I'm just babbling. I'm just trying to say, so pop would tend to be a kind of a medium sound, not particularly dark, not particularly light, and it would have a kind of most of the people wouldn't have a lot of licks. Rock, of course, I'm thinking of like Evanescence. That was a very piercing sound for the, not a lot of women in female rock. A lot of women in female rock, but not a lot of women that I can think of right now in rock. I haven't listened enough to. The things I've heard of Billie Eilish are good, but I have only listened to 2 songs, and the distinction between rock and pop currently, I'm not like super hip on it, super up to say it's exactly this. So anyway, if you can ask me, I'm not being rude, if you can give me a more specific question than that, I'm kind of running out in terms of, and honestly, there's not much to say, even with much more to say, and because the next step is into a lot of detail, and the way you would work on that, just by the way, is pick the way, if you want to sing in a style, you pick probably one at the most artist, their favorite keynote. This is the artist that I want to be like. I want to sound like this artist, and listen to that artist. And good. I'm so glad. I want to answer your question. Let me just say though, if you want to, you pick an artist and you just immerse yourself in that artist. And I don't mean you go around singing, hey, I'm singing, okay, so this song's my husband, I don't know where he went, this is cool, you just sing the song. No, you're picking songs, to say it was Pink, and you would listen to her songs and you would sing them, and you'd active listen, you're thinking about what she's singing. I'm talking about you're singing. Sometimes you're listening, you're not making a sound. How does she do that? And you try to make the sound she makes, and it doesn't have to be anybody. And if it's bluegrass, whoever, and you're listening, and you try to emulate those sounds, you try to emulate those licks, and so you're absorbing the details of that person. I'm telling you how to learn to do different styles in a organic way, an authentic way, and relatively speaking, a quick way. So in a few months or 6 months, and it's like, okay, I sound like this style now, this person who's in this style. And so I'm really studying their songs, understanding their songs, replicating their songs a lot. Okay, now, all right, so glad I answered that question. Okay, oh my gosh, look at the time. Okay, well, I only have time for one more question. If I put one in this thing, the chat. You put something in the chat. If you don't want to put something in the chat, I'm going to, I got one last question. Okay, here's my last question. Let's see. Remember, these are musicians' questions. Only musicians going to get these questions. Okay, so why won't bass players play hide and seek? Why? That's a really important question. Why will bass players will not play hide and seek? Do you know why they won't play hide and seek? They won't play hide and seek because no one will look for them. That's right. That's why bass players won't play hide and seek, because nobody will look for them. Okay. All right. Well, that's true. So again, I'm Mark Black. This is Mark Teaches Lessons. No, Mark Teaches Music. Mark Teaches Music. And I'm so glad you came. And so anyway, so we had our improv workshop. We played 2 songs. First song I did the voice, and the deal is that it was in one key, and didn't change. And then when the song doesn't change, we got a lot of ways to expand and try to figure out all kind of cool stuff to do. When a song does make a lot of changes, like our second song, even though it started in the key C, it had maybe 4 journeys outside the key, then it's harder to, you're having to negotiate the key changes. And so it's harder to do your licks and cool things you want to do. And then we had our Q&A, and thank you, True Catalyst, for your question, which is a very good question about how to sing in different styles. And it's absolutely doable. Not doable, it's like easily doable, but you're trying to authentically grasp what that style does. And there is a harder wall. Doesn't mean you can't sing classical and rock, can't sing classical and R&B. It's just there's a firmer wall, a difference between classical and the rest and of music. And you would have to work harder to do that. All the other styles are fairly close to one another. They can be done that way. Okay, so if you're interested in lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons.com. And there's information there about lessons. If you want to ask me some more questions, send me an email at mark@dallasmusiclessons.com, and I will answer your questions. And so, as always, until I see you again, I want you to have fun. I want you to be awesome. Yes, right. I did push the end button.